So for implementing the HASP plan, of course, we should have the verifiable HASP plan which is exist. So on each critical control point that we can verify and control the parameters that we established for them. Yeah. So of course, personal hygiene. It will be all of the time repeating that the main reason that should be done to be implemented all of the plans, because just one mistake of your personal and which is not consistent personal hygiene, it will be of course has consequences which is that will be bad in the plan. Okay, so the personal hygiene practice must be observed all of the time. And the training program for the maintenance, production, and sanitation quality personnel. So yes, you may have the trained personnel, you may have all of the equipment which is considered and should be quite all of the requirements which is for the production. But if you don't take in the task to the maintenance, the production and sanitation and quality of the personnel, it won't be gone as well as far as you want. Yeah. So for the disinfection, deratization. So all of this plan, we have the variety of the ingredients that we are using and the frequency and all of the components which is making. Yeah. So all of should be taken account. Okay. So sanitizer also for the food desk, floor spare, mats, and such also uses at entrance and all of the production areas. So at last we take as a active control and the passive control. For passive control, it's just enough, just line it or be signed it. Yeah, so you should mention about it, but no, there is no any barrier that can be crossed by the passive control. But for the active control, as we saw before, there is all of this control points, right? So it can be kind of the carts, entrances, doors, which is should be provided. And also the detergent application, which is spreadable for all of the way of the walls, columns, the floor, and of course the residue of this detergent then can be detected as a contamination. So of course we should be careful in the choosing of the detergent, in the concentration, in case of in the rinse that we remove all of them. Okay? So here we see how to apply the detergents in the on the equipment and the washing steadily. Of course, those detergent can be have the differences if it is application of the wall or in the equipment. In case of the equipment, of course, we should pre-cleaning that remove the residue of the food stuff, and then we can apply the detergent and rinsing. And the air dry, of course, also very important. So scrubbing, you know. So the four reasons which is influencing on the cleaning, we said it's the time, it's the temperature, and mechanical and moving, and the component that we choose, right? So hand scrubbing or hydromechanically removing. So it will be depend on. Mhm. So for GMPs, though all of the entrances, so it should be connected with the HACCP plan. So what is the GMPs can't? It's the fraud identification policy in the place and follow it for different areas of production. Yeah? So as a clean zones and dirty zones, and also it can be colored. Yeah, so not just only color of the rooms in the plant, but also the people who moves. They can be colored, yeah. So this personnel have specified uniform different from the production, and the product container identification program. It's the place to clear identify edible or inedible waste. Yes, so here is it, edible or inedible marking. So it should be can be sorted, yeah. So which is making for totally controlled all of the wastes that we have there. And for the handling the practices, the products in the processing are protected from raw materials. So as raw materials, we said that it's from the dirty zones, and it doesn't matter if it's just using for the production, but the packaging coming with the raw materials, it have a contaminate it could be contaminated, and it's as a risk residual. Yeah, so in the process we are not stored with the finished products, so it should be separately, and also the number of the entrances, it should be counted. If it's just packaging that used in finished products, or the materials that as ingredients. Yeah, so all of this kind of the stuff should be separately stored. As we see from the plan, let me show you again. Yeah, here's it. Yeah, so raw welfare and raw processing. So also kind of the animal origin or plant origin. It can be also divided. Can be stored separately. Yeah. For example, the eggs, yeah, so it's the very contaminated animal origin food products. So it, of course, couldn't be stored um, with the plant origin that can be uncontaminated, and there is a lot of um, ingredients that can be added in the on the finish, yeah, so as a dressing or sauce, or just a greens that they use it, just a chop it and use it for, and if it will be contaminated from the animal origin, of course it will be a risk of contamination. So the temperature sensitive products are maintained at the prescribed temperatures with verification data, and employee handling process training program is performed on a regular basis with the training and material available for review. So in the documentation should be followed all of the instruction that included in it, and should be explained every step that should be taken. Yeah, so what if the temperature increased or decreased the normal parameters, and how long, and what should be done with the product that saved in these conditions. Yeah, so all of the steps that should be taken must be prescribed in the documentation as an instruction. So the personnel shouldn't make a decision. So just following the rules that it prescribed. Yeah. Then you can monitor if it is right working or not, and then consulting with the personnel or and the specialist, you can make a decision, and or you may change conditions that you worked. So as a for sanitation program, we have 7 steps. It's a little more than we have just taken before. So now it will be depending on the sector, disposable equipment. Yeah, remove the gross soils, the equipment and floor. So it's the supplies from the room. It's the also uh, the particle that you are working with. So as you can see in this picture, so to just imagine, right? To imagine if the salt has this size, and incomparable with the yeast, mold, and the listeria, we can see this comparison. Yeah, so it's the very little sizes. So we are trying to influence on them by the moving or hydromechanical, or by describing to remove this bacteria. And of course we understand that sanitation not guarantee that remove all of the bacteria, molds and yeasts. So that's why we are using the disinfection agents that influence on their growth for long, and also will depend on the processes, how long does it taken. Yeah, so between these processes, if we have a long time, that can be can remove the biofilms that make by the bacteria, or it's the just short time that making any possibility to grow. So of course for each productionary it will be different. So as a first step, it's a dry clean. So it's there for removing growth from the equipment, remove the production supplies from the room, and remove the trash from the productionary rooms, and empty drain baskets. Yeah. So as you can see, to protect the automation system, so it can be like this. Overtaken with the plastic, and then we can work. And also we said that it should be protected from the water accessing or the other ingredients that we are using for sanitation. So the secure should be disassembled. And for pre-sanitation, it's just um, completed consistently, floor swept, equipment covered, and materials which is removed, and it's proper level to provide accessibly. So it's about the dry clean. So remove the residua, dry clean up. Yeah, so it has a pre-cleaning. Yeah, so it's removing, and then first rinse. So for first rinse, we remove the remaining visible soil with the hot water. It can be reaches the temperature as 90 and 95, and for gross soils, prohibit effective surface cleaning if it's removed prior to detergent application. So it shouldn't be hot, and hot to enough to melt fat, and if If too hot, it will be making bake on the soil, right? So it's the use the boosted pressure of the create aerosols and containing bacteria. You see? So it's the hydromechanical removing then all of the residual and the rinse until you visually free soils remove and we are using lowest effective pressure to minimize aerosols and condensation and the low pressure reduces risk of cross contamination and the machine damage because all of the we discussed about poultry meat that can be washed in our sink and while the washing of course there is a big risk of the cross contamination that the bacteria on the surface can be removed but can be spread all over yeah by the water pressure and the of the air moving that we conducted while of the washing. So it's the, of course, shouldn't be taken in the account. And what kind of the soap or detergents we are using. So foam the walls in the floor and then the equipment and set contact time it, should be at least 10 minutes and don't allow detergent to dry because they may form a strong soil. Yeah, so it's just applicated and giving time for by the parameter of the detergent that you're using and the removal of them. Yeah, so it should be a score to remove fumes, fats, and proteins, and clean drains prior to step 4. So, in order of the application, necessary to reduce cross-contamination potential and wall and floors, then equipment, avoid drying of chemicals and the mechanical action. So as we can demonstrate, yeah, so it's the contact and the concentration and mechanical action, which is needed for remove the fumes that are made by the bacteria or all of the microorganisms. So it should be scrubbed product conduct surface daily and score framework weekly minimum. So the chemicals are not substituted for chemical action and the work from walls and floor to the equipment. So it's the bacterial attachment and then with the mass of the protective film that don't remove and the traps nutrients and the bacteria that go that making the chance to grow for long. So for cleaning, we are using designated brushes, clean with the designated employee that on the end of the shift just prior the sanitizing floor and use a chlorinated alkaline cleaner and clean all of the surface of the drain. And of course, the materials that can have on the surfaces and then can be spread there. So just not for spreading all of them. We are using that solutions that save for long in the shifts of all of this. So the brushes should be kept in the chlorinated alkaline cleaner and sanitized with the iodine, chlorine, and the clean minimum weekly. So after step 4, it's the post rinse and inspect. So we should remove all of the chemicals and soils via flow rinse and rinse the odor of the detergent. What was applied on the walls, the floor, it's lasted for an odor of the detergent which is applied. Yeah, so it's the first at walls, then floor, and last the equipment. So we shouldn't spray the floor at once. Yeah, so we can see that it's protected from all of the spreading the rinsing water because of the increase of the humidity, which is then can influence on the growth of the mycobacteria in the not on the walls and the floor, but on the roof. Yeah, so it's the post rinse of the equipment. So we should flashlight for verify cleanness and a cure for the move for removing the soils, hazes, and water beads, and verify the site and fill. So look like this, the equipment after rinsing. And after take we step 5, it's the remove and assemble. So put on clean outerwear, sanitize hands, and verify all chemicals have been removed, and the side pH paper. So for pH paper, just indicate for us if it is the residue of the detergents, yeah? So we can verify and remove all standing water and overhead the condensation. Of course, of the standing water prevents sanitize contact with the surface and sanitize the inaccessible parts prior to assembling, and pre-op inspects part that would be wouldn't will not be accessible after assembling, and re-lubricate where we need. So here, showing how to remove and assemble. It can be making handed, yeah, and of course using the other equipment that that is clean. So inspecting to ensure the free of the chemicals, tools, and cleaning supplies, and we understand that residual chemicals is just not a contamination, but also can be mm, can influence on the equipment. Yeah, so as you can see, it's the corrosing. So it's to ensure the guards and safety mechanisms are in the place, and the run equipment prior of the inspecting. So it's the correct of the deficiency and provide feedback to the person responsible and facilitate regularly for all the defenses. So of course, all of the time there is a critical counterpoints for the cleaning. So those points should be protected and in taken account for each cleaning. Yeah, so it's the vast of the humidity, which is then having influence on the corrosion and such on. And for step 7, it's about the sanitizing. So we should make sure that it's not standing water before beginning production, and no food sanitize equipment bottom to top, so no rinse concentration, and also make sure that there's no standing sanitizer. Yeah. So periodic sanitizing tear down for access, and we should control it. So it's the if it's the pH papers or the other indicators that can be used for the for detect them. So equipment should be run to shed the sanitizer and form sanitize entire processing area, and it will fall in the wall of the floor. So work every day, way out of the room, and let air dry and fully sanitizer. So as a periodic of the sanitation heat, it takes about steaming about 100 degree of the centigrade for 30 minutes. For dry heats, just this temperature, but for 4 hours. Yeah. So for the steaming, we have the particles or molecules of water as the steaming. For dry heating, we should provide that the temperature was increased for long, and of course, it's not spreadable as in the steaming, so that's why the time is prolonged. Okay, so that's all for today, and tomorrow, sorry, for next lesson we will take which operational sanitation cleaning procedures and how to test the verification of the effectiveness of the sanitation. Okay. Mhm. So that's all. Thank you for your attention and attendance. And I tried to show you all in the illustration to imagine how does it work in the processes, and of course all of the principles it can be prescribed and vary depend on the production that we are taking in the industry, right? So, of course, then we will try to explain you how to verify the effectiveness of the sanitation. Okay.